Hello friends, good evening one and all. This is the project presentation from 360DigiTMG. Our project is regarding sales forecasting in pharma industry. Ram, next slide please. This project is done under the leadership of Sharad Sir, Director at InnoDatatics, Bharani Sir, Director at 360DigiTMG, and Bharat, who is our project mentor. Next slide. The team members who were contributing to this project are Ram Chaudhary, myself, Pravalika, Shubhangi, Rajkumar, and Shatrudhan. Next slide. Business objective and business constraints. The main business objective is in the pharmaceutical industry, manufacturer establishes the company's revenue goals, which plays an important role for measuring the success, which will improve the decision making of the sales manufacturer. The main objective of this project is to understand the selling pattern and also the daily sales of various drugs. And the constraints are pharmaceutical industries exposed to various complex risks like drug approval, quality control, supply chain, or even different global commercial practices. And the operators need agile tools to gather and manage data well while creating action plans. These are the contents of our project. Project overview and scope, CRISP-MLQ, the technical stacks we used in this project, architecture of this project, how the data is collected and what we understand about the data, data dictionary, which explains about all the variables present in the data, data description, exploratory data analysis, selection of the model to build the project, and finding the accuracy values, and how we deployed the model, challenges, conclusion, and future scope. Next slide. Project overview and scope. This project is mainly focusing on creating a forecasting time series model for sales of various drug products in daily basis. And we extracted daily sales data from my SQL database and connected it using Python. We used automated libraries, Detail for performing auto EDA, and auto TS for forecasting the time series data. And we built the pipeline, and finally we deployed the model. And the scope of this project is building the best model which can help client for future sales dynamics and deploying accordingly on Flask for user interface. This is the CRISP-MLQ diagram. First, basically, what is CRISP-MLQ? CRISP-MLQ is cross-industry standard process model for development of machine learning applications with quality assurance methodology. This is the standard methodology which is being used in the data science field. This includes business understanding, where we understand business problem and constraints involved and try to get rid of them. Data understanding, here we are going to collect the data and understand the data. Then next, hello. Ram, previous slide. Oh, yeah. Data preparation. In data preparation, basically we clean the data doing EDA in this phase. Then modeling. Modeling includes two phases, model building and model testing. Here in model building, we find the best model that we are going to use to give the solution to this project. We tested several algorithms and finally selected the best model. In model testing, we test the model that gives the best accuracy results. And next, evaluation. Here we evaluate based on several evaluation metrics. And finally, deployment. Here we deploy the model that we have chosen, which gives the best accurate results, and deploy it using any web frameworks like Flask, Heroku, and GitHub. And these are the technical stacks we used in this project. CSV, which is a comma separated values file, which allows data to be saved in a tabular format with a .csv extension. MySQL, used to import and export data into database. Spider, which is an open source IDE, which includes advanced editing, code analytical tools, Python console, variable explorer, plots, and help icon. Flask, which is an elegant and powerful web framework. Heroku used to deploy the model. Uh, GitHub, a Git repository hosting service which provides web-based graphical interface. HTML is a JavaScript framework used to create Python applications in the browser. And the technical stacks we have performed in EDA are auto EDA. We have performed detail and data prep, and manual EDA matplotlib.pyplot. In pre-processing, as we have got outliers in the EDA phase, here these are taken by the visualization technique, and we used NumPy for dealing numerical aspects. And for model building, we have used AutoTS, sklearn.pipeline, Prophet, stats model. And in deployment, we have made pickle files and deployed the model using Flask, HTML, GitHub, and Heroku. This is the project architecture diagram where we followed. First, after understanding the project objective, we collect the data and understand the data and imported it into the MySQL, which is connected to Spider through MySQL connector. In data pre-processing, we basically clean the data and perform EDA techniques, which is now ready for model building. And here we perform on Matplotlib, which is an amazing data visualization library used for plotting the data. As there are different methods like model-based and data-driven approaches, we will select the best model for forecasting time series data. Here we have chosen data-driven methods and also AutoML library, AutoTS for forecasting the results. And then we evaluated the best models and their estimate values given by the AutoTS. And finally, we deploy the model using Flask and Heroku. Now I'm handing it over to my friend, Mr. Raj. He will take you through data collection and understanding.
Thank you, Pravalika. My name is Raj Kumar, and I will be explaining the data collection and understanding. So, a data has been provided from the client server, which is stored in the MySQL database server. And the raw data is retrieved from the server in the form of CSV. It is then pre-processed and reloaded again on the server so that same data can be used as the historical data for predictions. The CSV file loaded in the Python for doing ML operations for forecasting purpose. In data, we have total 2106 records, which are collected in 6 years. They are totally 13 attributes, which are the item and 8 features of drug names, and rest of them are year, month, hour, and weekday columns. Among all these attributes, our attributes of interest are diatom and the 8 features of drug names. Next slide, please. Yeah, coming to data dictionary. Data dictionary, most of the attributes have quantitative data. So first is the diatom attribute, which has dates of the records. Initially, it has object data type, but for our usage, we have converted into date and time. Next, we have M101AB, M101AE. These are anti-inflammatory and anti-humatic products, which are most used mostly for relief pain, inflammation, and bring down high body temperature. And the next N02BA and N02BE, which are analgesics and antipyretics. These drugs are used for lowering the body temperature at the time of fever. And the next drugs are N05B, N05C. These are the drugs used for treatment of anxiety and depression and insomnia. Next slide, please. And the next drug is R03, R06. These are drugs used in the treatment in respiratory disease. And the R06 used for motion sickness and allergy. These are the attributes which are used for the forecasting. Rest attributes are year, month, and weekday name. Next slide, please. Coming to data description of each drug attribute, we calculated mean, median, variance, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, outliers, and unique. M101A has more number of unique values than N02BA. N02BE has more standard deviation compared to any other drugs. Next slide, please. Outlier analysis. We have explored each and every drug. We have explored that how many outliers are there that can affect model building, so we can compensate in our model building. These are the outliers. Next slide. Coming to scatter plots, these are the plots resembling the correlation between the variables with respect to time. There we have plotted of each drug with respect to time of scatter plots to know the correlation. Yeah, these are the other drugs. Next. Yeah, next slide. Coming to histogram, each drug is positively skewed and normally distributed in the skew rightness. As you can see, M102 AB, M101 AE, N02 BE are totally positively skewed. Next slide. And you can see N02 BE, N05 B, N05 C are also positively skewed. Next slide. Yeah, and the remaining R03, R06 are also positively skewed. Now I'm handing over to my friend Shatrudan. Shatrudan, please continue.
Thank you, Rajkumar. Myself, Satrudan Maurya. I will continue with EDA part. Here we have plot the SCF plot of all the drugs, and autocorrelation plot shows the property of type of data known as time series. And autocorrelation plot is designed to show whether the element of the time series are positively correlated, negatively correlated, or independent of each other. And our autocorrelation plot shows the value of autocorrelation function on the vertical axis, and the horizontal axis of autocorrelation plots show the size of lag between the element of each time series. Each spike that arises above or fall below the dashes line or standard error is considered to be statistically significant. This means that the drug cells are highly correlated with each other. From the graph, we can say that drug M01E, N02BE, N05B, R03, R06 are highly correlated except M01AB and N05C. Next slide. Next. Here we have plot the time series decomposition plots of all the drugs. This time series decomposition is the technique that split the time series into several components. Like trend, seasonality, and a noise component. The decomposition plot useful to understand the data pattern during the time series analysis and forecasting. From this time series decomposition plots, all the drugs we can see says in the data is not vary with time, data is the stationary. Next slide. From ever exploratory data analysis, we come to know the following point. The highest number of outliers are N02BE, N05B, and least number of outliers in M01AB and N05C and R06. The scatter plot, there is no correlation between the variable with respect to time. A scatter plot with no correlation has data that does not follow a pattern, neither positive nor negative. Histogram data is normally distributed and skewed positively for all the attributes. SCF plots all the points beyond the standard error for all the variables, so there is the statistical significance in lag. Time series decomposition plots, data is the stationary for all the features as data does not change with the time or they don't have a temporal structure. Now Ram will continue further.
Yeah, good evening all. Myself Ram Chaudhary. I'm going to Yeah, I'm going to explaining from the model building process to deployment. This is the critical stage of the project. So the model building process involves generally the 6-step process. The 6-step process is the contextualize the machine learning in your model or organization. Then explore the data and choose the type of the algorithm which suits for the data, and prepare and clean the data set by using some methods to clean the data set, and then split the prepared data set and perform cross validation. So we will evaluate the method by using the values of the statistic, so that we will perform the optimization machine learning. Finally, we will deploy the model. These are the 6-step process for the model building. Here the model building structure is there. We can take the raw data. After that, we will pre-process the data. After pre-processing, data will splitting process. It will split into train and test. After train and test, the evaluation process will start. We will validate the data. After finally, after doing evaluation and all, after getting some good model, we will deploy this method for client purpose. After deploying, we will predict the results. This is the process of the model building for any of the model, particularly in the forecasting. So the model selection and building. Actually, we tried for multiple libraries for model selection to check the performance of the model for the forecasting. We used simple exponential smoothing method, Holt's method, and Venter's method. These are all different methods for the time series data. But here we try to automate the process, so that we used AutoTS library. AutoTS means auto time series. Auto time series is an automated library which builds multiple time series models using a single line of code, so that we will get so many models within a single code of within a line of code, single line of code. AutoTS is a complex model building utility for time series data. It will be useful for the time series data. This will rapidly build so many models like stats models, ARIMA, seasonal ARIMA, and scikit-learn machine learning models. It will automatically select the best model. I told before, so that it is an automated model. It will take the best model which gives best score specified. Based on the score, it will take the best model along with this data. So after getting the model, we will get some SMAP values. SMAP means, usually we know that we have two types of values, RMSE and MAP values. RMSE means root means standard deviation, and MAP means mean absolute percentage error. But here we are taking SMAP values. SMAP means symmetric mean absolute percentage error. Why we are taking SMAP means, I can explain you now. Actually, MAP values here in the data, some values are zero sometimes, means there is no selling of drugs during some days, some weekdays or some days. So we considered SMAP values for accuracy. The SMAP is one of the alternative way to overcome the limitations of MAP forecast error measurements. So we used SMAP here. These are the models, and respect to SMAP values for this model, you see so many models are there along with SMAP values. With one line of code, we will get all these results. After that, yeah, we mentioned we create a table for the best models. These are the SMAP values for the best models. Window regression model 22.93 SMAP value, window regression model with 23.48, window regression model with 24.61, as univariate motif method, and average value naive model with 25.22. So ascending order, we will take the best values. After getting SMAP values, this is the model deployment architecture for the model, for the data, sorry. Yeah, we'll fetch the training data and then train the model. After that, we will evaluate the model. After that, we will run batch inference, then explore the results. This is the pipeline for the model deployment architecture. So these are the model deployment results. Model deployment results we are predicting in the local machine, so that this is the URL for the local machine. We mentioned the URL, then it will appear like this: forecasting time series analysis for the next 7 days. The results come in a HTML format. For PPT convenience, we mentioned in a tabular format. See the data from the date of 8th and 10th month 2019. The attributes of 8 drugs, we are able to forecast the data. These are the results. Based on this data, we come to know that which drug has highest demand in the market, which drug has the lowest demand in the market. We concluded that from taking the data from the deployment results, everything, we concluded that the top 3 drugs with highest demand are M01AB, N02BE, and N05B are the top 3 drugs with highest demand. The N05B, N05C, and R06 are the 2 drugs with lowest demand, and remaining all drugs are moderate in market. So from now onwards, I'm handovering to my colleague, my teammate Shubhangi. Shubhangi, please take care of me.
Thank you, Ram. Hi, everyone. This is Shubhangi. I will briefly take you through the challenges that we have faced and that is there in the project, or it may be there because of for the industry as well. The factors such as research and development, introduction of biosimilars, precision medicines, digitalization of healthcare sector, government regulations, and marketing. These are the influencing challenges for this pharmaceutical industry that we searched. And then growing competition from generic pharmaceuticals and supply chain disruptions. Next slide, Ram. So conclusion from this project is there are different possible libraries like AutoTS, ARIMA, Prophet to forecast the time series data. But here we have completed the project with the AutoTS model, which gives the future sales prediction. What are the future scopes? Here we have given some. Since we have built the model by considering univariate data for predicting the sales, factors like customer needs, price variations, these are the influencing factors which is there for the pharmaceutical companies. And deployment is done on cloud. It can be happen on Heroku or AWS, GCP, etc. These are the links that we have referred, that we used, and that we researched on and used their data or took help from these references. If you have some questions, please ping us. And with this, I would like to thank 360DigiTMG Institute, Sharad sir and Bernie sir, for their support and help throughout this project. Also, Bharat Kumar, who was mentoring this project and pushed us beyond our limits as well. Addition to this, I would like to thank to all my teammates for their contribution in completion and making this project successful. And please subscribe this channel for further updates. Thank you.